Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad, the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 214. 2 days before Christmas 2020. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Matthew Ross.
Hey everybody.
And I almost said Jimmy Trammell, but that's not Jimmy Trammell. That is definitely Michael Aston.
Howdy, y'all.
How you guys doing?
Not bad. A little tired, but not bad.
It's a good day. Done for work with work for the week, so I am happy.
Oh,
I am done for the year, and I am so glad because it's a blizzard outside, and I don't want to leave. I'm dreading. I'm going to have to go out there tomorrow.
Why?
Well, number one, when the poor Best Buy delivery guy eventually gets out here, he's going to leave my package in my garage.
Okay.
And then also I got to clear my driveway.
And is your garage not attached to your house?
No.
No, detached garage. No, it's the worst.
Yeah. It's basically on basement level. So I have to go out and then down the stairs that haven't been shoveled, that you can't even see the stair treads right now. It's just a snow.
I have a product you might be interested in. I think it's called, I can't remember what they're called. Yak Tracks?
What is it called? Backtracks?
Yak Tracks.
Oh.
Yak Tracks. They're literally little, like designed to step on ice and snow, little things you slip over your shoes.
Oh, I've seen those.
And they're just really quick. You put them on, you just be able to get down.
Oh, and I'm not worried about slipping.
Okay.
No, I just hate walking on snow. It's like scrunching styrofoam to me, and it just makes my skin crawl. And I absolutely hate it.
You hate snow.
When I say I hate snow, people don't understand the.
No, I do not understand
that. I absolutely hate snow with every fiber of my being.
Oh no, yeah. I'm sorry, man. You should move somewhere else. We've had this conversation before, so I don't know what to tell you, man. Well, you won't have to go outside if you don't want to. You can just leave all that in the, leave it in the garage, whatever. Maybe the guy from Best Buy will be nice and he brings it up to your house. Who knows?
Well, he said he might. He's going to try again later, and he said it'd probably be really late. So is there someplace he could leave it? And I told him the door to the garage. I gave him a access code. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Now I got to go buy myself some Yak Tracks. But now I'm thinking about it. I probably want some. All right, that's good. Everybody, don't slip and fall, everybody.
No, unless that was your intended.
That's true. I mean,
Chevy Chase built a career out of it.
It's true.
And Dick Van Dyke, yeah.
Now look where
their thing.
Man.
All right. Well, maybe we should talk about something that we're actually supposed to talk about.
If you want to, we're gonna start this.
I don't know. Do we?
We'll start this week with a story about HBO Max. HBO Max has provided an update for various Google products from the Android TV, the Chromecast, and the Google TV. These update is now providing support for HD, 4K, HDR support on those platforms, which apparently they didn't have before. This is version 50 of the app. And it's already rolling out, so you should be able to get it in order to get the really high definition content for your various platforms if you are on one of those.
Yeah, so if you remember, HBO Max didn't have 4K HDR. Wonder Woman is the very first title that was going to be, so therefore it wasn't on any of the platforms. This is good news for anybody that's an Android TV user, because I haven't seen whether or not the HBO app that just came out for the Roku was released with 4K capability or not. So, and
I believe it was. I feel pretty confident that it.
I would hope so. If you're this late to the game on that platform, you better come. You better come with your best shoes on, right? But who knows? I wouldn't put it past them to say, we just rolled out the thing that we had already developed back in the spring and have been withholding. But no, good. So if you want to watch Wonder Woman in 4K on your Android TV, you can now do that.
So it doesn't look like. It looks like it does not include the Roku device. So the list now, it looks like the Android devices, Chromecast Ultra, Chromecast with Google TV, Fire TV Stick 4K, Fire TV Cube, 4K Fire TV Edition, smart TVs, AT&T TV, and Apple TV 4K. So most devices, but it doesn't look like Roku will be able to stream in 4K just yet, nor will Xbox or PlayStation. So those all three have HBO Max apps, but are limited to 1080p at this time.
You know what else the PlayStation 4 can't do?
Android Police.
The PlayStation 4?
Yeah. You know what else it can't do?
Play PlayStation 5 exclusive games.
No, it
don't
can't
exist.
play Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, yes, that's true.
I'm sorry.
No, you can't even buy it anymore. On
that's why. Shut that down. No, it's good news. Good news for Android TV owners joining the ranks of supported devices.
Yeah.
All right. Those poor Roku users, including myself. Poor us. We can't watch 4K. Oh, well, whatever. Hey, so we have a story here about Nexstar Media Group, which has got a programming called WGN America. They've been having a negotiation with the Dish Network and their various subsidies, including Sling TV, where they've now become off the air for those platforms, which makes it a very difficult way for you to watch this new WGN America platform. But they've went ahead and kind of sidetracked, did a sidestep deal with Fubo TV. You are now able to pick up Nexstar's packages of channels on the Fubo TV channel package. So this is a kind of sticking it in the eye of Dish, if you ask me. Say, we won't. You don't want to deal with us. We found somebody better.
Yeah. Well, and we had talked about this sort of a week or two ago that there was speculation that WGN America was going to be coming to different streaming platforms like Fubo. It sounds like the deal is, well, they said they inked the deal, so it's official. Yeah. Good news for everybody. Like I said, I miss WGN. I miss the, it's 9:00. Do you know where your kids are? That plays every single night at curfew, because Chicago does have a curfew. I think they still have a curfew, but they did in the 90s.
I don't know. It sounds like you're just there for the nostalgia, man. I mean, who knows?
Well, no, I mean they had some good originals, like the Manhattan Show was a WGN show, and if you haven't watched it, it's 2 seasons. I highly recommend it. It was a very good show. It should have had a third. There was another show about these people that live in the mountains, kind of detached from civilization, sort of, and it was a really good show. It was kind of like a Hillbilly Sons of Anarchy. And I don't remember what it was called, but it was a great show. Actually had a couple people from Sons of Anarchy Uh, but yeah,
Very cool.
WGN, and good. Now maybe I have a reason to sign up for Fubo if it doesn't come to YouTube TV.
We'll see. I'm sure. This is the thing that it really pushes you over their edge. So I'm sure you'll be moving to Fubo anytime now because you love WGN so much. Hey, if you are a fan of the newest digital standard of over the air signals, you might be aware.
Are you talking about ATSC 2?
ATSC 3.0. The newest version.
What happened to ATSC 2?
Haven't we been using 2.0?
No, we're on ATSC 1.
Oh, well, just skip right over 2 then, because we're going straight to 3. Denver has a couple of stations that have moved over to ATS version 3.0, which is the newer one that is going to be providing you with it's been so long since we discussed what that standard was going to give you, but there were going to be some interactive things that it was going to be able to do for you, if I can remember.
Basically, ATSC 3.0 gives you 4K and surround sound, different codecs like Dolby Atmos and stuff like that. Those are the main things that most people are going to be interested in. The other thing is that they're hoping to target mobile devices and like cars with this standard, which it's not like you couldn't do that with the old standard. There was this thing called an antenna. They just had to build a tuner in. I don't know why they're like, this is important. Now you're going to be able to do it on your mobile device. You can always do it on your mobile device if you put in a tuner. You still have to put in a freaking tuner. So what's different now? But we talked about that it was fine. They were finally going to start the rollout back earlier in the year.
Right.
This has come to this story is talking about Irving, Texas and Denver. But there's also already been rolled out in places like Las Vegas, Seattle, Phoenix, Pittsburgh, Tampa. And
you also posted a story here about how it looks like 12 stations in Seattle have picked up.
And I accidentally spoiled the next thing, which is it's officially streaming in Seattle.
Right.
Yeah. So it also offers like HDR 120 frames per second. Mm-hmm. The other thing that's interesting is that it provides a retransmission consent system that allows possibly
two-way,
ideally voluntary response things, so they can actually track who's watching what and understand and potentially even do targeted advertising to users. So,
and I mean, the big thing is it's good for ratings to see who's actually watching what, which it is good for the channels mainly because then they know they have the metrics they need to sell ads.
Right.
So rather than, we're pretty sure we've got this percentage of the market share in this time period, Charmin, you should sell ads here, or you should buy an ad here. Now they will be able to potentially throw down some hard numbers.
Yeah, it's gives regular broadcasters the ability to get the same kind of information about their users, maybe not as extensive, but the same kinds of information that you get with Netflix or Hulu and things, which is a tremendous advantage that the online streaming services have right now, is that they know everything about, or at least a whole lot about their users, what they watch, how long they watch, how far into an episode they get, and all of that kind of stuff. Where right now, if you're a broadcaster, the closest you can get to that is your Nielsen ratings. And that's not particularly accurate, nor is it as precise. So it's it should help.
See, we've been operating. This show operates on the ATSC 1 principle, and you just put it out there. I don't know if anybody watches it, but
Well, you actually, for the curious, I went ahead and looked up ATSC version 2.0, and they had worked on it and planned on it. They were going to, it's going to be a backwards compatible standard, so it was still going to work with ATSC 1.0 compatible devices, but add some of the things like the the interactive and the ability to do things like video on demand. But while it was being worked on, and they never actually launched it because they accidentally too quickly did ATSC 3.0 and implemented it way before
they got to the point where it just didn't make sense to do.
Exactly.
It's just whatever.
So there's like 2.0
kind of like Windows 9.
Nothing like Windows 9. 9 never actually existed. They never did anything with that. Well, okay, so there's rumors.
I mean, there's a good chance that Windows 10 was actually Windows 9, but they just like 10 better, so they called it 10.
Yeah. Also, the of course German 9 means no, Windows no. They probably get all those jokes and then whatever. That's all right. Hey, so Discord has this cool ability where you can share your screen, and they've had this ability on your PC for a while, where you could share your screen.
Sounds like a good idea. I wonder
they've. Oh. Okay. They've recently come up with the same concept where you could share your screen while you're using your smartphone. This is something that they've had in a beta for a little while. It looks like they are now pushing it out so many people can try it out. This will allow you to use Discord and share among your friends what you're currently doing on your mobile device, which with those Among Us games you can share with everybody, so everybody can be enjoying the fun. As we know, Discord has been a pretty amazing player in the free side of these this what would you call it, chat for groups. It's kind of a Slack for
communities.
It's a community Slack thing,
yeah.
But it's been pretty awesome for what they've been able to do for $0.
I call them forums 2.0.
Oh, well,
or message board 2.0, because you've got all the stuff that you would normally have in a message board or a forum, plus the multimedia interactivity, the ability to communicate directly and in real time from anywhere. I was actually surprised by this story because I thought the screen sharing feature was already on this phone, but apparently not.
No, not directly.
So I know you could join voice. You can join voice from your mobile device. I mean, there was one January where Wabbit and I were talking on Discord as I was driving in the triple digits through the desert in that Camaro SS headed back to Vegas. But about time. That's all I got to say.
Very cool. YouTube has an option for your devices, especially the Android devices. Has an option for you to download a copy of the videos onto your device for offline viewing. This is a feature they've had for a few years now, which allows you to to download a video, watch it while your video while you are disconnected, like on an airplane or something like that. And there has been spotted a new feature that's related to this. Looks like the guys over at Android Police found a way for you to be signed into YouTube on multiple devices, and then once you start a download on one of the devices, you could sync that download to multiple devices. This is kind of useful if you're the kind of guy who has a tablet and a phone, and you know that wherever you go, you're going to want to be able to watch this video. Android Police had a little trouble figuring out how to get it to work. It looks like that there might have been like a briefly enabled feature that got disabled. But could you guys see this kind of thing being a
Sure.
thing you'd be interested in?
This is one of the things that has annoyed me since the beginning when Netflix started offering the ability to download. The problem is I have to plan ahead. Okay, I know I want to watch this movie, But am I going to be watching it on the plane where I can have my tablet open, or am I going to be in a hotel room where I'm going to watch it on a laptop? Or oh nope, you have to choose one because you have a limit of how many times you can download it, and then the ability, even if you did download it to multiple devices, the ability to mark it as played across those devices. Isn't there either. So yeah, no, I definitely see this, especially for short form content where it's not going to be as detrimental to storage. Where if you picked 5 movies from Netflix, downloaded them to one device, it may be fine on your laptop, but it could easily eat up all the available storage on your phone. You know, you don't necessarily want that. YouTube, yeah, you check a whole bunch of videos, you're talking, very, very little amount of storage. So, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like this, the article talks about how it's available on the Android and you would see it on tablets and phones. I feel like the Android tablet market is small enough. It's mostly it's a pretty limited group of people that have those. I think, you've got tons of people that have it for business purposes, like to take orders at the drive-through at whatever, the Chick-fil-A or whatever. And then you've got, various other kiosk type things, sign in at your doctor and things like that. But actual normal everyday people using tablets seems to be a pretty limited thing now. My daughter has one. My youngest daughter has one because she doesn't have a phone yet. So it's that instead of a phone. But I think, so syncing between those doesn't seem like it would be terribly useful. Most people don't have 2 phones. And so I don't see this feature being terribly helpful for the majority of people. Now, if you could set up that you want it to auto download on your phone while you're watching something on your TV or on your computer, then you could flag this as send to my phone. That would be helpful because, like you said, like if I'm in the middle of a movie and then I have to leave for the airport, I can hit that button and it would upload to my phone while I'm driving to the airport. But it doesn't sound like that's the way this is set up. So it's,
so if that exists, theoretically you could bring this eventually onto a laptop or even more easy, Chromebook. Because most people, while they may not be carrying tablets anymore, because phones have gotten big enough that the need for a tablet kind of went away, they're still carrying laptops for the most part.
Pretty regularly.
So, and that is where this would be very useful. I mean, if you're a single device person, you're only using a phone. Yeah, there's absolutely no benefit to this whatsoever.
All right, just for a moment, I'm going to talk tablets for a minute. If you want a good tablet, right now, your best bet is an iPad. And I'm saying that as an Android guy. I really love Android. But a good Android tablet, I mean, like a good quality one, is going to cost you $300, at which point you can buy a standard iPad, which is basically a much better device. Sad but true.
But my point is most people don't want tablets anymore.
Yes, I agree. But I can actually still recommend tablets to people who want a sub $100 tablet. Mm-hmm. And there are plenty of people out there. I have bumped into so many grandmas and grandpas who bought these very inexpensive cheapo tablets. And I see Michael shaking his head. I would tend to agree. Spend a little bit more money. Believe it or not, you're going to be happier with an iPad if you. But I have seen so many with these tablets, and they're actually not half bad. These nowadays, there's the current generation of cheap tablets.
If you go back a couple episodes, you'll remember I picked up that new Lenovo tablet with the stand that's downstairs that I'm using now to basically throw music to the TV. And it's great. I've got my LG tablet that I've had for many years. It lives in the garage. That's my music tablet. That's all it does. But I mean, I use it. I was using it on the airplane. I would take it with me. But now I've got that Lenovo one that will go with me. That's pretty much the only time I take a tablet out of the house.
So my opinion is that if you pay less than $300 for the tablet, it will be good for single purpose use, browsing the internet, playing music, maybe watching videos, but anything else, you better love waiting, because that 1 to 2 gigs of RAM, if you're lucky 2 gigs of RAM, is not going to handle any remotely modern game on the tablet. And I'm obviously talking about modern tablet games, like not 3D blockbuster games for your desktop. I'm talking tablet games.
Stadia.
It's not going to handle those. So I feel like
I think a tablet would be great for Stadia.
I mean, my daughter had a tablet that was like $140 tablet, and at 7 years old she thought that was not sufficient, and I agree with her. So I
mean, the
Kindle
Kindle Fire
much better tablet now.
The Kindle Fire tablets are still decent, bang for the buck.
I mean, I had one that we inadvertently lost for almost a year, and then we realized that it was just in the little like arm, the door pocket of our van. But the thing is that we lost it for a year and we were fine without it, because it was an excuse to buy something that didn't suck. And that's how I would view these. So granted, I am not the budget shopper. I will admit that. I won't watch ads. I don't like to wait for my computers. And so,
the point that I was making though is that if this were to be turned on Android devices at some point, there's no reason it wouldn't propagate out to other devices such as laptops and iPads. I mean, theoretically, put it on, let's say you're a household that has both Android and iOS phones. You don't know, are you going to watch this video on your phone or your wife's phone? You know you're going to watch it together. May as well be available on both, right?
Yeah.
So I see uses for this. I don't see people clamoring for it. There are no torches and pitchforks in the parking lot of Google, at least not for this reason. Demanding it.
What?
I largely agree with you. There are uses. I think that as it is, it's not very useful. But if they expand it to more devices, that's useful. I think what would be really useful is if you could flag something to send it to your device.
Yes.
And
these are the kind of things
you could do that from anywhere.
These are the kind of things that you see buried because since they operate Android and Android runs on multiple platforms, they're able to test it out without getting other manufacturers and platforms involved. They can just throw it in there, go, do their testing, turn it on when they want to, and decide is it useful. Because these are the kind of things that sometimes just random people it'll just show up as an option. And so, yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes.
Very cool. All right, here's an interesting thing for you guys. So there's YouTube channels with live streaming happening all the time right now. And you can pretty much see people live streaming cooking shows and video games, all kinds of stuff. Here's one for you. It's an AI that's live streaming a never-ending bass solo. That's right. You can listen to this bass solo that is that epic bass solo that has been going on and will be going on for all time. Company or a guy or a group called DataBots has trained a neural network to play this bass solo forever. And it's been so they trained it off of another YouTuber called Adam Neely and his solos. And they went ahead and have played this. I actually listened to a few minutes of this before the show started. Not my kind of bass solo. I like a good slapping do 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 do. I mean, it's a lot faster than that kind of a bass solo on it. It almost sounds like somebody's hitting random keys on a bass.
So 2 thoughts. Number one, I'm pretty sure it's Dada, because Dada was an art movement.
Oh.
Hence the band Dada. The
Dada Bada?
other thing is, I think we need to start a petition. We need some sort of regulation on how AI is written. Like the word AI.
Oh.
Because depending on the font, I read this originally in my tab, and Al is live streaming a never-ending. Well, why do I care about some guy named Al?
This is Weird Al.
Yeah. No, it needs to be a capital A, lowercase I, to differentiate between I and L. I find that very annoying, where you have to think in context. But yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. The lines, the serifs are sufficient, I think, if it has serifs on the capital.
But that's the thing, is so many fonts don't.
Right.
And that's why I said there needs to be some sort of standardization that either you use a lowercase I or you only use a font that has serifs.
Yeah, I was looking
either way.
Reminds me of an issue I had earlier this week where there was an I in a passcode that was sent to me, or actually to my wife, and she's like, I don't know what that is. Is that an I or an L? And I had to look at it really carefully to realize that it was an L because it extended above the line.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's super tall. It's an L.
It's the same thing with R and
totally
N.
Insane.
When there something says RN and it very much looks like an M.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But
that said, more on topic. Okay, so first of all, shoot me now for the fact that there's a 2-hour bass solo. I would rather just, can't you just flay me a little bit or something instead of making me listen to that?
Well, number one, nobody's making you listen to anything. You don't have to.
No, I know. I'm just saying, if somebody was going to torture me and they were like, here's your options, you can listen to a 2-hour bass solo or we can flay your finger like they did in Game of Thrones, and I'd be like, take the finger. I'd just rather lose the skin. Thanks. And then also a never-ending bass solo is possibly one of the most atrocious things I can think of.
Clyde, I think you have to play it. I think you have to put it on for a few
This
seconds.
is clearly a sign that the AI actually has gained sentience and is trying to torture us to death. They're just trying, data is just trying to cover it up by making it seem like it's intentional and that they're doing it on purpose.
See, just because something does something or is able to do something doesn't mean it does it well. It doesn't mean it's good. You can get a bunch of kindergartners to finger paint for 24 hours. That's amazing. Is it going to be worthy of hanging in the Vatican in one of the cathedrals? Probably not. But the fact that you got them to do it for 24 hours straight is amazing.
Michael, just real quick, is the problem the fact that it's a bass solo because you don't like bass solos? Would you prefer it if it was like
it was a guitar solo?
A guitar solo would be okay?
Not for that long, no.
What if it was
I might as well put on a
solo?
Grateful Dead album if I wanted to listen to that.
Imagine if it was a guitar solo and you knew that anytime you tuned in, it was going to be something different that you hadn't heard. It's not a just never-ending loop of the same pre-recorded material, which...
No, I think, So this is me and like improvisational riffs on any instrument. I generally don't like it. I can enjoy short bouts of like jazz improv and stuff like that, but generally it drives me a little crazy. You know, like my teacher used to make us listen to the Grateful Dead when we were doing in our creativity class to help our creativity, and they'd have like 20-minute improv in their songs. And
it wasn't improv. It was they're stoned out of their minds and they got lost. And they couldn't figure out how to get back to the song. That's really what that is. But sure, I know what you're saying. And again, if you put aside the lack of desire to hear this, the fact that they were actually able to train the AI to generate this is what is actually interesting, because you think of the other applications that could come out of this. Because it's not so much about what it's outputting, but how it's learning. So yeah, I mean, because we're getting to the point where pretty soon musicians will be out of work because let the AIs just write the songs, write all the parts, and punch it out or spit it out on a punch card, and you're done.
This is proof that the musicians have nothing to worry about whatsoever.
But
yeah, just no. I think all of the musicians out there can rest easy. This is proof that AI is horrible at this stuff, at least the way we're programming it at the moment.
Well, that one, it was trained on one person.
And I don't know who that guy is, so maybe he's not good. I assume he's good. You know, they picked him. He must be famous.
But still, and that's the thing is you're going off of one data point. But as it learns, I mean, just like anybody that's learning an instrument, you know, you may only listen to one band and you try to play everything just like that band and you sound terrible. And it's when you start branching out and you start actually learning other stuff and experiencing other styles that, you know, you're able to put it all together and make something that is wonderful. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm not interested in listening to it as it stands, but I think the underlying tech is pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It's interesting.
All right, guys. I've got big news for you guys today. The console wars are on again. That's right. They're going to have this video game console war, and it's going to be epic. And everybody's going to have to choose a side between Team Blue and Team Red.
Is this that Atari console again that finally launched back in October and nobody talked about it ever again?
No, we're not talking about Atari. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Well, I am talking about the brand new announcement of the KF console. That's right.
What is a KF console?
KFC has come out with their brand new console for gaming system that is available. I don't know when it's available.
Is it chicken powered?
It is. It warms your chicken. It actually has a chicken warmer inside of it, but it's powered by an Intel processor and an NVIDIA GPU, able to provide POV ray tracing powered and provide 240 frames per second 4K TV gaming to your greasy fingertips. That's right. KF console is on the way, and of course they are competing against the amazing first comer. I must say that they did a really good job. Those guys who brought Bud Light, who came out with that
that's right.
that 6-pack console earlier this year. I can't decide between the two. Which one should I buy? There was only one of those.
Every time I build a computer, the one thing that I always think to myself is, I really wish I could cram some greasy chicken into this thing.
We don't know how much it's going to be cost, but a similar machine is expected to cost at least $3,000. So this thing may probably cost a lot more than that. That's right. I think this is the ultimate console war of the year 2020. This is going to be great. I love it. I don't know which one I'd choose. I don't drink beer, so I think KFC kind of wins for me.
Yeah. Here's the deciding factor for me. I mean, obviously, again, I don't drink, so I'm obviously picking the KFC one. But here's the thing. So I think about it in both ways. So KFC, if they actually implemented like a system to where the heat was extracted from the CPU and the GPU and then transferred into the chicken, so it was actually heating it with the natural heating systems that were in present.
Or if the computer ran off of the used fry oil from the KFC.
Yeah. On the other hand, a beer cooler is totally absurd because, right, this thing makes heat. It's not good at cooling things. However, if they had an integrated cooling system that actually ran on the CPU cooler than room temperature in maybe like a sealed, liquid sealed case, then it could cool the drinks and cool the CPU and keep you and let you like super overclock it.
I seem to remember the Bud Light thing did keep your drinks cooled.
It did.
It did have a cooler built in.
But it didn't apply that same cooling technology to the CPU.
Yeah, but you also got to remember that the Bud Light thing, it's like not restricted to Bud Light. You could always put Pepsi or Coke or your iced tea or whatever in it.
Originally, I was thinking I'm going to have to be the KFC guy because, I don't really drink beer, but you made a good point there. And also, Cogswell makes a great point. The one from the beer guys from what is it? Wasn't Budweiser?
It was Budweiser. Bud Light.
Okay, Bud Light. Okay, their console actually had games that were exclusive to that platform.
Yes,
they actually had games that were it came with like 6 games and like 3 of those were exclusive games to the platform. And is pointed out in this story, we don't know what games are coming with it. We don't know what games are compatible with it. It's got no launch titles. I mean, what's the good's a console? But
so they in the chat it pointed out that it's technically a PC. It's not a console, but I will remind you, the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever they're calling it today,
series,
they're both consoles, but they're PCs as well. They're running just regular PC hardware, so just like the bucket. So I don't know. All I want to know is, I mean, the difference here is it's just a bucket-shaped case. There's nothing special about the hardware.
It actually looks pretty darn cool.
I think it's pretty cool. But it's it's basically a Cooler Master mini PC. And to bring me to my next point, or one thing I wanted to talk about, Pathway or Matt.
Yeah.
What do you call that PC, that Intel PC that they're using?
I call it a Nook.
Nook.
Everybody calls it a Nook or a Nook.
Right.
But it would be, and this is a huge pet peeve of mine, it would be a nuke. Because every other word that starts NUC is nuke. Nucleosynthesis, nuclear, nucleosynthetic, nucleosis.
All of those...
My personal favorite, nucleophilicity. I don't know what it is. I just like that word, nucleophilicity. The only time NUC is pronounced any other way is if there's letters in front of it, like knuckle or Canuck.
Actually, but here's the thing: is all of those words, the NU is the syllable, and the C is part of the next syllable of the word, and so that's why you get nuclear. Right? It's or Nucleosis.
No, it's nuke.
CL.
It's nuclear.
Right.
Who's nuclear?
N-U-C, nuke. It's because that syllable is nuke, the C is part of the first syllable.
No.
Yes.
It's
But,
okay. I always call it a NUC. I know it's actually next unit of computing is what it actually stands for. But it really
and I'm not, and I wasn't judging you. I was just saying it's the industry is wrong, is what I've been saying.
Okay, we'll let the grammar police decide on that one. I will stand back and allow other people, let other experts make this decision. It's above my pay grade to be sure. So all right, last story of the night, guys. F1. You know, the guys who do the Formula One racing. They've been having discussions, all kinds of different platforms, about getting their product out for people to watch over streaming services. And apparently looks like Amazon has been really deep into the talks here. It's noted here that Netflix has basically ignored sports while Disney's got ESPN Plus. Amazon Prime is basically one of the other big players who has been trying to get into the sports streaming, and so maybe we'll be seeing F1 racing on Amazon Prime.
So there are several problems with this story.
Mm-hmm.
Like right off the bat in the story, they talk about how Disney has relegated it to ESPN. Well, that's because it's a sport. That's where it belongs. It doesn't belong on Disney Plus. I mean, okay, throw that away. Number two, Formula One already has a website. Called F1 Online or F1 TV. I don't remember. It was like 2 years ago it launched. We talked about it.
Okay.
Which not only, so they've got two, if I remember right, they've got two platforms or two subscription price levels. On the lower level, you get all the VODs of the races after the fact for like $25. And then something like $75 or $80 for the higher package gives you all the VODs. You also get to watch all the streams in real time. You get to direct access to the in-car cameras and communications. You can choose what team and switch around. You know, basically Discord for F1. Just hop from channel to channel. All of this is already available. The fact that they're making the outgoing CEO is making such a big deal about how it's not streaming anywhere on any of the platforms kind of tells me that maybe that service isn't doing so well. They did make a point in this story to point out that F1 Drive to Survive on Netflix has drawn a lot of people to the sport, which is that's like one of the few reality shows I actually enjoy. We've talked about that a couple times. I believe that, but that doesn't mean that Formula One live races are a good fit on Netflix just because the series did good there. I mean, live sports on Amazon seems it makes the most sense because I mean they've got live football or European football. Oh, they do have live American football too on like Thursday night games. So yeah, I don't get the point of the outgoing F1 CEO in his comments in this.
Yeah. Well, I suspect what it is it's just the fact that if they can get a standard like what they would normally put over the air or with one of the normal sports channels to be on also a streaming network.
It's on ESPN.
Well, yeah, but more of that, and just make it so they can have a specified, no matter what, you'll be able to turn on and watch something that's on.
Basically, what it is right now is it's not like they have multiple races going on each week. Yeah. You have like one race every so many weeks, and the ESPN stream is just a rebroadcast of the Sky stream from England. which is, like if they were to watch the Super Bowl rebroadcast it on Sky from ABC or CBS or whoever the hell has the Super Bowl. I don't know what what being on a different streaming service would do for the sport. You're just going to show the same broadcast that you're on Amazon that you're also showing on ESPN.
Well,
that's good for people that don't subscribe to ESPN.
Yeah,
but ESPN's not going to be happy about that for the people that they've got a agreement based on the idea that people that want to watch that are going to sign up for ESPN. I don't know.
I mean, I assume that the idea would be there would be additional content too, right? Like, people that are into these kinds of things care about the people, the drivers and things like that. So maybe there's more content about the sport, about drivers, about history, maybe showing some old races and things like that. But the takeaway I got from this was F1 has had talks with all the global digital platforms till they finally found somebody that was willing to give them anything for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, the fact, and that goes back to my initial comment, the fact that he's putting this out as even an issue makes me think that F1 TV isn't doing so hot. Because I'm looking up right now. Because there's not really, when it comes to Formula One, there isn't additional content that I can think of other than, okay, you get to see the practice laps or the qualifying on, the day before on Amazon. People don't care about that. If they did, they would sign up for F1 TV. And I looked up. It's $80 a year for the live. You get live stream. You get to access all driver onboard cameras and team radios. Live stream F1, F2, F3, and Porsche Super Cup. In addition to the $26 or $27, which gives you full access to all live timing features. F1's historic race archive, so you get to watch all the races in the past.
And then
if
you look at something like that, that's obviously for the super fan. And getting into streaming solutions like Amazon is something that allows people that are casually interested or that just would watch it when they don't have something else particularly exciting to watch.
My point was, this is all the extra content there is. It's not like there's other stuff. And unless if you're saying, hey, they're shopping around the old race archive and that's going to Amazon. Oh, okay. But other than the features on the website, like the live streaming of the, in-car stuff, that doesn't, that's not something that is really streamable because
they're just looking for a solution to meet a broader audience they get out of ESPN, but they want it for the cord cutters out there. So that's what they're looking for, I think. And the idea with any of that is that if people watch it when it happens to be on and they flip by it or they see it's on and they don't have something else to watch, then they watch it and they realize that it's good or that they might enjoy it. And then they start becoming fans, and then they eventually buy the F1 expensive pack and, go to F1 races and things like that. So, I think it's just a way to reach out and broaden their audience and keep their audience as big as it was when everybody had cable TV.
And just a reminder, F1 is a sport I actually enjoy. So this isn't coming from a place of irritation or disdain. I just don't get what I think all this was a publicity thing because the dude is on his way out. He's soon to be former CEO. I think he just wanted to basically yell some stuff on his way out the door. And I think he succeeded. I don't think it really made much sense, but okay, they could have just said, "Hey, we're going to be on Amazon." Not Disney won't even put us on anything other than ESPN. Yeah.
Oh well.
You know what? Hey, I won't complain about though.
No. I have one more story I put in the last minute.
What?
One that I wanted to put in, but I forgot because I somehow passed over it earlier today. Google Stadia is a rather amazing little platform that allows you to stream your video games over the internet. We're seeing a lot of that from us do this now, but now Google Stadia has got a new way for you to try out the platform. You can go ahead and try out a Stadia game for 30 minutes. All you need is an account, not even a credit card. They will go ahead and allow you to try the Stadia Pro for 30 minutes with absolutely no commitment, no credit card being shown. All they need is your account to be signed up. And then after that 30-minute mark, they do want to get your credit card information in order to give you your free trial for the rest of the month.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
Is this, you get one 30-minute trial, so you get to play one game for 30 minutes, or do I get to go around and play each game for 30 minutes? Because that's exactly what I was asking for.
I do not believe they allow you to play each game for 30 minutes. Okay. I believe they let you try out the service for 30 minutes. You could technically jump from game to game. I think you have 30 minutes to play.
But I mean, 30 minutes is good to get a feeling of whether or not I'm into a game. Few minutes, probably not so much. Like if I had played Cyberpunk 2077 for 30 minutes, I would have still been in the character build stage, and I would have known I would have known at that point, don't buy it. You're gonna hate this game.
So, my expectation is that as soon as now that we're getting these streaming services, what you're going to start to see is games running trailers basically, but what they'll do is it'll be the tutorial portion of the game that you'll be able to play free.
I just kind of want a reintroduction of the shareware stuff where you got to play like the first level, and if you want to go on, you want to play more, there will be people that there are people that have only played that first table from that pinball 3D and had no idea that there are like a ton of other, there's a whole bunch of more if you buy the software. They just thought that was just a game. But
and that's what I'm saying, effectively the same thing I'm saying, which is, run the tutorial portion of the game, which usually includes how do you use all of the parts of the game, and then a small adventure before it unleashes you into the world. And I think that's probably what you'll start to see, is that's what they're offering for free for everybody through these digital services, because they can, right? Like they don't have to let you download the whole 60 gig game and then somehow lock it off, which, anytime they do that, it's a guarantee that hackers are going to find a way to get around that. So, by streaming it on Google and Google just having a hard cutoff once you get to a certain point, that's a lot easier for them to do. And so your Stadia would have that for you free. And so I expect to see that coming in the near future for a lot of games, because it makes sense and people might buy games that they otherwise wouldn't. I often don't buy games because $60 is enough to me, that I don't want to buy something that I don't know I'm going to enjoy. And if I play it for an hour and throw it away, that's not worth my time. That's not a good investment for my entertainment dollar. But I would play for an hour or 30 minutes and see if I like it, for sure. I do that with a lot of games. So.
And that's exactly what I wanted when we were talking about this like last week or the week before, is I don't want to pay for a subscription because I don't know if I'm even going to use it. which is the whole point of a subscription model in the
Right.
first place.
Right.
And I don't want to drop $60 on a game unless I know that I'm going to enjoy it. So, perfect case in point was the new Cyberpunk game. And all I want is just to be able to, give me 30 minutes, even 15 minutes, get into the gameplay, see what it's about. And then usually you'll know immediately, go, yep, I'm in, or nope, I'm out. Because the game trailers don't typically tell you anything. Either way, 30-minute Stadia trial. If you really wanted to trial Stadia, log in with your Google account and then play one of the free games, and then you see what the platform's all about.
That's fair enough. But I guess it's a trial for a Stadia Pro, but that allows you to see. See 4K if you've tried it out. I don't know. There's lots of things you can try with it. All right.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Well,
hey,
the
you
one.
Get back to telling us about our awesome.
I was going to say, the one thing that we don't need a 30-minute trial to know whether we're into is the patrons, the supporters.
You've got it wrong. We're giving them like a 60-minute trial of us, and I
thought we gave them like a 4-year trial.
I think it's something like that. It's been a while.
It's been a while. So we're not saying that the trial is coming to an end, but we're saying for those of you that have stepped up and decided to go to the pro version, the full version of VOD Squad via patreon.com.
With updated graphics.
Yeah, definitely. Do I need to do?
No.
Upgrading graphics.
Oh God, no.
I thought that was gonna get old fast, but it hasn't.
No, it's kind of perfect.
No, seriously, those of you that have been supporting us via Patreon, you are awesome. You are among, I wouldn't say you're among our favorite people. You are our favorite people. We hold you high and exalted above all others. If you would like to be part of that, that particular cast, it's very simple. You just go over to patreon.com/the VOD Squad, throw down $1, maybe $2. It's up to you. A month, an episode, whatever. That's up to you. The bar is set very low.
Okay.
As low as Patreon will allow. So, I mean, you could set it to $1 a month or per episode with a limit of 1. That's completely doable.
Wow.
But we don't judge. We're just grateful and glad that you chose to be one of our supporters.
We judge you as awesome instantly the second that
fair enough
that you become a patron.
Absolutely. So thanks everybody for supporting, and with that we will get into some rants and some raves. I was half tempted to replace the audio on that this week with the breaking news.
No!
Good. Let me go first real quick.
Okay.
I was ranting a little bit before the show, before anybody could hear me, that last week I dropped a package at the post office. I absolutely hate going to the post office. Every time I see someone on Twitter whining and screaming about how we need to save the post office, I think you obviously haven't mailed anything in the last 15 years. Case in point, I had to go to 6 different locations to find a kiosk that was either working or the package drop-off box wasn't physically locked. There was one place where I was able to buy a sticker for the thing, but they padlocked the drop-off box inside so that you couldn't even leave it. And then I had to drive. So I went to 6 places, and I finally got it shipped. I didn't hear anything about it. I didn't want to bring it up, but I kept checking I shipped it on Monday of last week. It didn't leave the city until Sunday of this week. It was there, sitting there as scanned and received for a week. That's it. I hate the post office. The only reason I did that was because I knew I was out. It was too late. UPS was closed. I prefer FedEx, but they were closed. And I knew if I waited, it would, till the next day, it would be sitting in my car for another 6 months. I've been trying to ship this thing for 2 years.
Okay. Well, I got a lot of things to talk about if you don't mind me going over it. So first of all, last week, the Mandalorian Season 2 finished, and I knew that I would be interested in watching it. But at the same time, I realized, oh crap, the season's over and people are beginning to spoil it. So I need to watch it. And so I sat down in front of my TV and I brought up Disney Plus, and I was going around and going, okay, I should probably start watching this so I can, see it and see what all the fuss is about now that it's all over. But then I went over, I clicked and I saw this show called The Runaways, which I'd never seen. Mm-hmm. I've heard a little bit about it. So I turned it on.
Is it about the band with Joan Jett?
No.
And Lita Ford, I think?
No. It's a Marvel property.
Oh.
Started on Hulu apparently, and with Disney picking up all the Marvel stuff, pulled it into Disney Plus. I only got through the first 2 episodes. It's a little slow, and there's not enough information there for me to understand yet what's going on. So there's a little bit of obviously I need to keep watching to actually start filling in some big gaps that are there. And the first episode is basically mirrored the second time with the second episode because they literally do the same episode from a different point of view. Very interesting. It sure is comic booky. I don't know if I'm going to continue watching it. Is that a good thing?
I assume it's written about a comic book. Shouldn't it be comic booky?
It's about some kid. Well, it's called The Runaways because apparently the kids run away eventually. They're about. I don't know. That's the thing. But that was like 2 or 3 in the morning at that point where I had to stop watching and I went to bed. Next thing is I wanted to talk. There was a show that was on Netflix a couple of years ago called Manhunt, and it was about Ted Kaczynski and the Unabomber. It was that we watched, and we were surprised at how psychological thriller it was. It was really good. We really enjoyed that. And right then, when we finished that miniseries, we were like, "This was so good. I wonder if they'll make another one." Well, this week they came out with a second season called Manhunt: Deadly Games. It's about the bomber who bombed Centennial Park during the Atlanta, Georgia Olympic Games. And I basically knew half of that story. I knew the side of that story about the security guard who basically did a really good job, and exactly not what happened. But anyways,
okay. No, I was asking. That was a question. That was a question mark.
No, but that's what the thing is. Everybody thought he did.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole point of that side of the story, is that
Mhm.
he literally saved a whole bunch of people, but then everybody thought, well, he planted the bomb, and
No.
I knew that side of the story. I never heard of the other side of the story. This show, while good, puts very little confidence, adds very little confidence in my confidence in the FBI. They
Oh.
obviously don't know what the hell they're doing as far as the show. It's drama, so we don't know, but still, it's not good.
If you had watched the show that I recommended about Waco, you would already know that there is very little confidence in FBI or the ATF that should be.
I lived through the Waco
at
stuff
that
as a
point.
kid. I didn't have high confidence in them during that either, so I'm aware of that. But nonetheless, I would say the season 1 was more of a great psychological thriller. This one was also very good, so I do recommend it. It was very good. Another thing I want to mention is that I have spent at least a little bit of time this weekend watching this amazing golf channel on YouTube.
They have golf channel on YouTube?
Well, I don't know. It's this PGA player poodle puncher guy who's playing
That's
Stadia
a terrible
game.
name for a golfer.
No, it is. And I gotta say, it's your channel where you've been doing your live streams, and I enjoy watching because I think the game looks horrible. I understand it's a good golf game.
No, it's not a good golf game. I've never once said it was a good golf game. No, it is universally hailed as a step backwards from the manufacturer. It's, this is the company that put out the Tiger Woods games that everybody loves, and they somehow made it worse. No, the only reason I played it was because I got it on Stadia for $10.
And it's been an awful lot of fun to make fun of the game while watching you play.
No, so and that's not to say I'm not enjoying it. I came to the realization that the graphics looked, it's very nostalgic, and I couldn't figure out what it reminded me of something, and then it clicked. It looks like the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh,
I am pretty sure that this game takes place in universe of Flight Simulator 2020, because the buildings look the same, the terrain looks the same, and I'm waiting for someone to fly overhead and crash onto the green while I'm driving.
Yeah, that would be great. But no, when you say nostalgia, I thought you were talking about how good the graphics were. I was like, well, that was a nice way to say it sucks.
No, it's decent. From, if you look at other games that from 10, 15 years ago, the backgrounds and the terrain and everything looked way worse. It doesn't look as good as it could. But yeah.
Last but not least, I just wanted to say, got this in the mail.
What is that?
I don't know, but it came from somebody in Minnesota.
It's nice to see that after a week it finally showed up.
And it's full of Star Wars cards.
Star Wars?
Right. No, Star Trek, excuse me. Star Trek.
I was going to say, I can't imagine me having anything Star Trek or Star Wars related.
Next generation and original series collector's cards for...
That is the 25th anniversary set that came out in 1992.
All I gotta say is that this is... I opened this up and I looked at my wife and I said, "Oh, I know what this is." And she goes, "What?" I said, I opened, I flipped it up to her, and I said, I mentioned to Clyde that you used to collect these, and she looks at her and is like, "This is awesome."
Well, it wasn't that okay. And there's a little bit of a backstory. It's not that I collected them. I was at a thing with my dad. All-Star Game was in San Diego, 92. And maybe it was 92. And we were at the fan event, Fandango or whatever they called it. And everybody's selling cards and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, pick something out." and I saw there was somebody that was selling a box of Star Trek cards, and I got it more to annoy him than I was interested in it. And it just so happened that one single box of packs had enough cards, because there's so few cards in that set, that there is literally 1.5 sets in there. And the second set has all the duplicates. So there's a bunch of Beverly Crushers. And the only deal is, if you ever run into any of those people, you need to get that there are duplicates for. You need to get make sure you get a duplicate signed, and it comes back to me, so I can do something with it. But no, that is the original binder that I sorted them into in '92, and then put it on a shelf. And through the years, I find it and go, oh yeah, and I put it on a shelf or in a box, and then I find it again several years later.
So my wife has a binder much like this, and it's full of cards much like this, maybe about half as many as what's in here. And she's like going, now I got to go find that and see what she can put together. So
yeah, and the best part is, when I found it the other day, I smelled it, and the plastic pouches still smell brand new. They still have that original brand new smell. All these years later.
Weird.
I take care of my stuff.
Like almost fruity.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. It's a neat set.
Was one thing I didn't ship, though. There was a set of Taco Bell Lakers cards that were in the binder as well.
That's fine.
And that's how I know the age, because this is Taco Bell Sports Marketing, Greater Los Angeles area, 1992. So,
all right. Well, that was me ranting and raving. I hope you enjoyed.
All right,
Mike, you got anything?
So I got a few things. This might be my first. I don't think it's my first, but it's one of my very few rants. I tend to talk about things that I like. However, those of you that know me know that I'm basically a PC guy, but I have a MacBook Pro because I worked on MacBook Pros at work writing code, and it was annoying coming back and forth and having Windows hotkeys and Mac hotkeys on all the things, and having to remember the commands on different OSs and stuff. So I program on my MacBook Pro. Well, last week, you may have heard me mention that I just downloaded the Big Sur new OS for my MacBook Pro.
The entire beach?
Yep, the entire thing.
Does it include the sea elephants?
No,
I think
unfortunately not.
They live there.
But they pulled a Windows, which is they introduced a new operating system that broke a bunch of old functionality that people relied on. Specifically, the fingerprint functionality for biometric login got broken. And there's apparently a way to fix it, but it's a whole convoluted process of like restarting in safe mode and doing this and deleting this and restarting it and then reassigning your... I haven't gotten around to it, but it drives me crazy. I don't turn it on that often, so I haven't gotten around to fixing it, but come on. Just release a patch. It's been like out for 3 weeks and they haven't patched it to fix the problem. Come on, Mac. Where's this Apple does everything right, makes it easy for the user and stuff. Apparently easy for the user is not the way of Apple, and we just don't know what we want. We should know that we don't want to use biometric fingerprints for our login anymore. Duh. Anyways, really annoyed by that. Second of all, I played a little bit of Cyberpunk 2077, got a little bit farther in the game. I enjoy the game. I like it a lot. I still haven't figured out a lot about the character generation, why that exists and whatnot, but overall it is enjoyable. I haven't played it enough to really know, but I'm having a good time running around and looking at things and playing things and shooting things and stuff.
You just brought up something on that game. I spent some more time playing it to get further to see if, maybe I'm missing something. The thing I can't stop thinking about is, why did I have to spend so much time designing the way the character looks if you can't see the character? What is the point? I mean, if it was a multiplayer game like GTA 5, okay, yes.
So two things. First of all, there is supposedly a multiplayer functionality coming out in the future. But that's so far down the road, it may never actually happen. That said, you're right. You can look at yourself in the bathroom mirror. That's the only way you can see your character.
If you watch my last video from Stadia, you will see that thankfully I looked in the mirror and that was the only way I could have known that my character was completely naked. Because I tried to change its clothes from inventory, and apparently the change clothes functionality is so ridiculously buried that I couldn't figure it out, and I kept having to go back and forth between the closet place and the mirror to figure out, do I have clothes on?
Yeah, it did take me a few attempts to figure out how to put the clothes on and stuff like that. I find that there's some kind of silly things about it, but ultimately the thing that matters to me is like the combat gameplay, and that actually works pretty good. So I've been happy with the gameplay and the combat, but there's some weird things like how to get stuff into your inventory and how to change your clothing and stuff that all said, since you can't see yourself except when you look in the mirror, it doesn't seem like it even matters anyways. Maybe down the road, maybe I'm not far enough into the game to understand the value of it, but so far it's been of 0 point. And there's this super extensive, as Clyde indicated, character creation thing. I probably spent 30 minutes making my character. And then you get in there and it's like you have to look in the mirror to even see yourself. And the characters don't seem to respond to you any differently based on the way you built your character. So it doesn't really matter.
I'll make this my last point to kind of emphasize my point. So I created a second character to restart as a different class to see if I would like the game better.
Yeah.
The second one I created as a woman, but apparently I accidentally left the voice on man. So every time I see myself in the mirror, I scare the crap out of myself because I go, oh yeah, it's a lady, because it's the normal man dialogue. And I don't know if there's a way I can go back and fix that.
Oh, okay. I did notice that. There's no gender-based assumptions in the game. Like you pick a female voice and male voice. I mean,
I was playing the game, my brain's saying, oh, this is a dude, and there's like, oh, hey, those are boobs. Why is my character naked? But
anyways, so far still enjoying it. Still a good game. It's still got flaws, but it's getting patches all the time. So I assume that I'm probably missing the majority of the big issues because I'm moving very slowly through the game and not playing it very much. And every time I log in, there's like another 5 gig patch.
Oh, what platform are you playing it on?
On the PC.
Okay. See, I've been playing it on Stadia, so there have been absolutely no patches.
Right.
And I haven't noticed anything. Yeah, I think the only thing that PC people really complained about was the save file corruption. It's not like the PS4 where it's basically unplayable.
Can't play it. Yeah.
Okay.
So last thing, I want to do a rave, but I have to throw up a spoiler alert. Mandalorian final episode is great.
Oh, okay.
So there was a big Twitter thing about Scott Johnson said that he really liked the episode effectively, and then everybody blew up why is he giving us spoilers like that?
That's not a spoiler. There's
Yeah.
nothing. You can totally say that sucked, and that's not a spoiler, guys.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
no, it's not.
That's an opinion.
This is a rant about that. Like, if you are so sensitive that people saying they liked it or they got emotional at it or it was an exciting thing, then you need to not look online at all until you've seen the episode. That's on you if you see something like that. That said, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. Good finale to the season. And I can't wait to see where they go from here.
Now, here's the thing. Scott Johnson is famous for saying, I'm not spoiling something, and then actually a little bit spoiling it.
He is, but in this case, all he said was, it's been a long time since I got emotional from a show.
Oh, okay. All right. Whatever. That's
maybe slightly different words, but that's the entirety of the intent behind it. And
all right.
People freaked out. But anyways, it's very good. I think that if you have seen any of them, you owe it to yourself. You know, I heard a lot of people got turned off by like the spider episode, and
that was the egg episode, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, that was about the eggs.
The one after the egg episode.
No. It was. I just watched it. It was.
Is it all in one episode?
Yeah,
I guess
because they found the spiders when the egg lady was in the thing, and then the baby kid thing ate one of the spider eggs.
Yeah.
So
a few people got turned off there, but it's well worth going through any rough episodes to get to the end.
You got to remember, you've got to think about the fandom. There is no such thing as rational when it comes to Star Wars fandom.
Yeah.
That's a word that does not exist in that universe. So yeah. But what is rational is us shutting this down.
Oh my goodness. Why haven't we
it's
done
too
that
close
yet?
to Christmas to draw this out. But we want to say thank you to everyone for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you to everyone that's been downloading the podcast after the fact. It is available anywhere where podcasts are available. It's funny how that works. But if you're not joining us live, you are missing out. You get to participate in the chat. You get to submit titles. That's right. The titles were submitted by viewers most of the time. And you get to vote on them in the post show. Head on over to everyone that's sticking around. Go to tbs.showbot.tv. Pick everything that you think is worthy of being immortalized on the interwebs. And thanks to the patrons. You guys are awesome. But we'll see you guys next week. What time is it? 9 p.m. Central, Wednesday, every week on Twitch. All right, that's it. Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
I just had to do it.